Andrew, back for a 6th week, and I have to say you're looking very sharp ahead of Christmas.
Yeah, thank you very much, Barry. Hopefully we find out a few big Christmas clues now over the next few days.
If it was to limit you to 3 horses that you're looking forward to over the Christmas period at this stage, before we have final decks, what are they and why?
Well, first of all, I'm fascinated by this Manila Indo versus Delta Work and Presenting Percy race. Savills Chase looks a cracking race on the face of things. Hopefully the decks will provide that to be the case. And I put up Delta Work earlier in the season at 40-1. I thought he was a cracking back to lay bet, and I do think he'll shorten up an awful lot if he runs very close in a race like the Savills, which I assume he might. Over in Chepstow in the Welsh National, I quite like a horse called Dominator for Oliver Sherwood. He's won at Chepstow twice before over fences. I think he's got a lot of likeable traits for that race. And one of my old favourites, hopefully will re-enhance his RSA claims in the Neville Hotels race at Leopardstown, and that's latest exhibition on the 29th. You know how much of a fanboy I am for these Paul Nolan horses, but this horse is a good horse, and hopefully if he can go bang close, we can start dreaming about the RSA yet again.
Brilliant stuff, Andrew. 2 novice chasers that I'm looking forward to this Christmas period is one actually at Kempton in the Kid of Star Novice Chase. He is down to go here. It is a step up in class for Inrillo. Paul Nichols has always thought this horse could be a better chaser. He's in here against Shan Blue, the big breakaway who I couldn't touch with love nor money. If the cap fits is also in here, but Inrillo is one. If he goes, I think he's a horse. Maybe I had thought of maybe potentially could make up into a national hunt chase horse. I'm not so sure if he is the class of an RSA type, but he's certainly one I'll be keeping an eye on. We all know my fascination with an Ergonim. I just can't wait to see this horse run. It looks like he is going to run in a 2-mile race at Leopardstown, Andrew. He is chalked up, I suppose, a shorter price for that. So I hope he goes for that race because I've backed him for the Arkle. I've put out any race for any race on the road to Cheltenham Challenge. So he obviously is one that I'm looking forward to. But on the ropes, I thought was interesting for Woody Mullins. He's a biggest 10-1 now for the Paddy Power handicap. I can see money coming for him. He's in the Shively Park colours. He ran a cracking race up at Ferryhouse behind Monkfish, and I think he could be on a nice mark. Yeah, one on the tracker I did want to mention, Cool Jets. Runs on Stephen's Day in the 4-year-old bubble. I don't know if he does run. He's entered, so we'll see if he goes there. But definitely one who I have my eyes on. But exciting news for Champ.ie listeners. Last week on the Champ.ie podcast, as I said last week, the North Pole has Santa Claus. We have Thomas Coyle because he's put up 20% of a Marquez gelding ready to run in January. The competition is on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'd urge, I suppose, listeners to get involved. There's still 3 days left, and the winner will be announced on Christmas Eve. And for anyone who hasn't seen it already, let's take a look.
Hi, Thomas Coyle here. In association with Champ.ie, we've got a Christmas giveaway with this lad here. We're going to give away 20% share for a year. After Christmas, he'll be a 3-year-old unraced Marquez. He's from the family. The dam is unraced, Rocket Gibraltar. She's 3 previous winners from 5 runners. Your 20% share for the year will get you to the races, get to know about the running of the horse daily, coming up to the yard and getting to see him work. You'll also, at the end of the year, be allocated your 20% of the prize money from the HRA account. All you have to do to get involved is to like, share and tag a friend at the bottom of the post, and to subscribe to the Champ.ie YouTube channel. The winner will be announced on the Champ.ie Christmas special, so best of luck to everyone.
Before we come on to this week's selections, just give us a quick run through of your selections on the road to Cheltenham Challenge to date.
Yeah, well, it's been an interesting list. A few wild ones in there, as we saw from the weekend action. Wide receivers form got very much boosted by Ashdale Bob winning the Grade 2 at Navan, and 25-1 any race for him, I think, was potentially a decent bet. I assume he'll go down a handicap route. I've got Nassalam at 25-1 for the Triumph Hurdle. Again, looks a fair price. Latest exhibition 16s for the RSA. Still that price. As I say, we'll learn more about him at the Neville Hotels. Chacun pour soi at 5-1, which looks a pretty decent bet again. Hopefully he runs and wins at Christmas, and he'd contract even more if he does go and do so. And the two from last week, Time Hill at 5-1, as we were discussing just there, he's still got a fair chance. He's now 9-2, and Delvino for the Mares Novices Hurdle. We don't know. I suppose I know Willie Mullins had another good mare there, and Kenny Alexander's colours run at Thurles yesterday. So you are probably fighting a losing battle against Willie Mullins in that race, but I've taken a chance at a pretty good mare at a decent price.
Andrew, at the prices and the selections that you have at the moment, there's a couple of comments there. I think you have slightly more irons in the fire live than I have at the moment. Eldorado Allen 20-1 for the Arkle. Not sure. Wouldn't give up just yet. Mac Fabulous. Don't think he's even going to run in the stairs at this stage. Appreciated is the one, I suppose. I'm looking forward to 12-1. He's in now as short as 5-1 in places. I see further Ballymore. With Fernie Hallows, I suppose, out. It's just be interesting to watch that space. I can't see him. It looks like it's the Ballymore for him. Champ, 12-1 for the Gold Cup. Where do we see him next? Cotswolds Chase. He probably wasn't going to come anyway with these travel restrictions that might be potentially coming into play. And Ergolem 10-1 any race. I'm very happy about that, and we'll see how he goes at Christmas. And down the very bottom here as well, in one of my wild cards, which She Wears It Well, with a live chance in the Mares Novices Hurdle. Andrew Blair-White selection for week 6.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at the opening race, the Supreme Novices Hurdle, and it's not really a horse I'd usually fall for, but I just think at the prices at the moment, Ballyadam's well opposable. He's 5-6-1. He'd have to show an awful lot more to me than he did in the Royal Bond to be justifying that. I know he's a hype horse, but Fernie Hollow obviously is injured. He was the horse I probably would have been siding with between those two, but with him out, I'm going to put up Dusart in this race at 12-1 for Nicki Henderson. I think he's Nicki's probably number one. He was taken out at the race at Ascot last weekend due to ground. I would say they'll look to find somewhere around Kempton, maybe over the 2 days there at Christmas time, or maybe early January to find another race to get him into. But the form of that run at Newbury ahead of Soaring Glory, who's a pretty decent type, had horses like No Risk Day Flow around 15 lengths behind, who's a good horse for Ollie Murphy. So I think he's a proper good horse. And as I say, probably not one I'd usually put up. I usually steer clear of these Nicki Henderson novice hurdlers, but I don't see who the Willie Mullins Supreme horse is going to be at the moment, personally. I can't see who it might be. I think Appreciate will stick to the Ballymore, and I'd be willing to take Ballyadam on at the current prices. So Dusart at 12-1 will be my selection for week 6.
Great minds think alike, Andrew Blair-White. We've identified, at least we've done one thing this week anyway. That's we've identified that I think the Supreme Novices Hurdle is the correct race to target this week on the show. But Kescon Risk is a horse that's 7-1 now for the Paddy Power Future Novices Hurdle at Leopardstown over Christmas. He's 2 from 2. He won a bumper last year at Fairyhouse for Timmy Hyde, and he came out and he won. He wasn't the most flashy winner of a maiden hurdle, you'd see. He was first time up in the tongue strap on for Joseph O'Brien. For an owner, I suppose, that's been investing quite a bit in the game, has Brandy Love there, Willie Mullins as well, Mike Gretsch. And he's 25-1 for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. And looking at the race, looking at the market, first of all, at the top of the Supreme Novices Hurdle betting is 6-1 Ballyadam. Can't have that. Couldn't touch him now at that sort of price. Dusart, I think you have a nice selection with him. Appreciated. Ballymore, as you said. Mr. Drogo won't be winning Supreme in my eyes. Bob Bollinger isn't even going to go for this race, I would have thought. Cape Gentleman, the same, the Devil's Coachman. You come down the list, and you're just looking for a horse really now to come out over Christmas and stake its claims. This horse has plenty of pace. And he only got up I liked his attitude in his maiden hurdle. He was off the pace, didn't exactly travel into the race like a Supreme Novice Hurdle horse, and your initial thoughts were, God, he might be better up in trip, but the horse, I can assure you, has plenty of speed, jumped well on that occasion. And look, it is a bit of a risk taking a horse that we haven't seen in Grade 1 company, but the race at this stage and the market is so open, and I'm just going to take a chance on him. Very interested in him. He's 7-1 for the Paddy Power Future Novices Hurdle at Leopardstown over Christmas, and if he wins that, you'd have to think he'd be a single figure price. So that's given the state of given the shape of this market. So yeah, that's Kescon Risk. No wild card for me this week, Andrew Blair-White. I take it there's none for you either.
No, it would be a fair watching brief for an awful lot of these races over Christmas, and we'll probably have something to go forward with now after the Christmas races. But Kescon Risk, he would need to improve from that maiden hurdle run, but he beat, I think, Indigo Breeze, who's a pretty well-touted horse for Gordon Elliott. So I think there's a fair engine in there, so I wouldn't be putting you off that at all.
Yeah, he's picked up for 450,000 by Henrietta Knight. For Mike Brett. So as I said, he is investing quite a bit of money into the game of late. So it'd be nice to see him get a bit of reward there at Leopardstown over Christmas. And it'd be nice for me as well to have a horse at 25-1 for the Supreme Novice Hurdle in a race that I think is crying out for a horse to really stake his claims at Leopardstown over Christmas. That concludes episode 6, Andrew, of the Road to Cheltenham Challenge. And Andrew, we are still encouraging people to get involved below.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a great reaction to all these videos, and hopefully that continues on, and hopefully we can all have a pretty decent Ante-Post book come the 10th of March next year.